You are now listening to Shoot the Shit with your hosts, Shawnee Caulfield and Sal Licata. Enjoy the show. Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Shawnee and Sal Shoot the Shit. Sal, how you doing, my brother?
Good, Shawnee. I was waiting for the show to clap.
I know, but I am your Major Mark's favorite Major Mark. Don't forget it.
Yeah, no, I get it, Shawnee. I get
I've been sitting on my hands for weeks, bro.
That's hilarious. What's up, Shawnee? I'm Sal Licata, of course.
Man. Yep. What's up, Sal?
Shawnee, I don't know if you noticed, I kind of went viral, I think, this week.
Yeah,
I've been getting my ass dragged on social media. You familiar?
Bro, I get sent at least one GIF or like 2 GIFs a day from you. You with your dog with the Brave stuff on.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why I love Sal. I wrote it on Raleigh Allen's post of that picture, and I said, this is why I love Sal, because not many people would stick to their word on doing stuff like that, you know? So it made me appreciate you even more.
Well, let me just explain that. That was a picture from last year.
Okay.
Growing up, I actually liked the Braves. My grandfather used to like the Braves, so I started to take a liking to them. They were good in the early 90s. So I had an old Fred McGriff jersey, who was one of my favorite players. And last year in the postseason, I took that picture posing with my dog Maddox, named after Greg Maddux, because again, I used to like the Braves.
Yes.
And that was during the postseason last year against the Dodgers. And now people are bringing that shit back. Raleigh, that Met hater, Raleigh Allen, you could not find a bigger Met hater than Raleigh.
Yeah, he's a hater, bro. Wow, yeah. He definitely drinks haterade for sure.
With everything. That Mark Raleigh.
Yeah. When he told me and Sunil, when's the last time you saw a salad? I died, bro. I died because you can tell he's a nice guy, but he's just busting balls, you know.
He's actually a very nice guy, and I used to get into it with him on the Facebook group before I met him, and then I met him, and I'm like, he's a gentle giant, Ron. Yeah. He really is a good dude.
He is. But yeah, some follow-up, guys. So Papa Bear Paul, Brian's best friend forever. He lives like 5 minutes from me. So we always talk, and he does the Card Foundation, which is awesome. Subscribe to that if you can on Patreon. And basically, he texts me. He says, Shawnee, great pod episode, but Yokozuna was Samoan, not Asian. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I had no idea.
No, I did know that because you didn't watch the biography that they did on Yokozuna.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's one of the he's related to like the Roman Reigns, I think, line. No, maybe the Usos.
Right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Or maybe the Usos, something like that.
So I think I have saw that actually, but it just slipped my mind because I think of the character, you know. So,
I think, did you say that when I was trying to get you to move on from whatever it was?
No, I say yes, exactly. So Papa Bear wrote, I was so funny watching you go off the rails and Sal's face trying to be PC, you know. I was dying, bro. I was dying. I said that's what makes it great, you know.
Yeah. No, that was funny. I'm glad he picked up on that. I did catch it at the time, though.
And something you didn't catch was when I was talking about the roller coaster underwater. You thought that it was an actual roller coaster. That I should have worded it properly, I guess. But
right.
That made me when I figured out. Because I watched the pod back, I'm like, wait, Sal thought he's like, that's pretty cool. I wouldn't go on it, and it was because of the storm that it was underwater.
Dude, that is when you texted me that, I was like, oh shoot. I cannot. You're right. You're telling me about this. Oh, there's this new roller coaster ride. Yep. Or you didn't say new. You must have said there's a roller coaster ride that's underwater.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's unique.
I should have said the storm, but I don't know why I didn't say it, you know?
And I don't know why I assumed somebody would make an underwater roller coaster ride.
Oh, it made my day. God. When I realized that, it made my day.
So stupid.
But yeah, that's all my follow-up. Do you have any Sal? No? Okay.
No, I always forget to write down some of the follow-ups, but no, I don't think that I had anything. And plus, a week goes by and a lot happens from
Yeah,
then
of
till now.
course.
So
Of course.
if
Yeah.
if it hits me during the show, but
I
usually
just
with the
have
follow-ups. No.
I just happen to catch the follow-ups because it's my mistakes. So then I wonder what I did wrong or said wrong. And I think when you make mistakes, you remember them more. You know what I
Right,
mean?
of course. Yeah, yes, I do. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, true, Sal. So okay, we're doing the major pod recap now, where we talk about what we got out of the most recent major wrestling figure podcast episode, and we go over what we think about. So I'm gonna start here, and I saw basically the boys were talking and giving credit to one of my favorite major marks, Herman Harris Jr. He lives in Louisiana, and he is awesome. He had done videos for me on Whatnot. He was the person that was like, Shawnee, get on Whatnot, I'll help you, blah blah blah. He helped me with everything. He volunteered his time a couple months ago and said, hey, Matt, I'll do this for free if you let me. I'll run the TikTok for the major pod, right? So they finally talked about it, and I looked, and he really does a great job with it. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out on TikTok. But it's called Major Pod Network. But one of their videos, Sal, had over like 120,000 clicks.
Wow.
Just one of their videos. And I'm looking and I'm like, wow. And I realized with TikTok, it's only like 15 seconds. So you could watch a lot of content very quickly, right?
Right.
So it's a great place to be on, honestly. So
but I'm not familiar with it all. I heard them talking about it. And honestly, after hearing them talk about it, then I started to think, crap, like, do I need a TikTok, doing what I do for sports media, whatever, doing this podcast? Like, do I need a TikTok? I just don't have it in me, man. I actually deleted my Instagram this week. Like, I can't, and nothing negative. It's just, I just want less of that stuff. So I get why people do it, and it's cool, but it's hard to keep up with all of it.
Yeah, for sure. But Herman, keep doing a great job, brother. That's the kind of, like, those moves are such inspiring moves to me. Like how Nick end up with the boys. Like he just reached out to them and said, hey, I can help. Like, I'll help in any way. And then I was just watching not to get off topic, but the on YouTube, Barstool Sports has, like, I never knew this. They have like documentary style episodes, and it went back to the $15 million deal, the $450 million deal, how Dave started, and those, like, it's so interesting to see when somebody doesn't give up, how far they could go in life. You know?
That dude, Portnoy deserves all the credit in the world. What a beast he is.
He was walking around. He created these free papers, walked around, drove around. Like, that is just, like, invaluable.
Right. And how many people do you think told him, what the hell are you wasting your time for? You're never going to succeed, never do this. Many. Oh, God. That's why I respect the hell out of him, and I'm happy for him.
Me too. I agree, Sal. But good job. Good job to Herman on that. Mark got his first prototype, a Ric Flair prototype. And there's two types of prototypes I noticed. There's ones that just look like nude, right? And then there's ones that have different colored pieces on it.
Yeah.
I love the different colored pieces on it, and that's the one that Mark has. Do you own any prototypes?
I don't, and hearing them discuss it, like, the only ones I would or I was ever tempted to get were, and I believe that these are considered prototypes, like the old LJN figures that used to be pictured on the back of the card. So, like, let's say they had Mean Gene, right, who was pictured on the back of the card, but his pose was different than the actual Mean Gene figure that was available. Ooh. And I always used to think, well, that's different. And then Broski actually has that Mean Gene prototype that used to be pictured. That's something I was like, damn, I'd love to have that. Or the Greg the Hammer Valentine, the famous one. Yes. I remember looking at as a kid, if you were a Hasbro collector, early 90s.
And you never got it.
Well, right. You looked at it and we're saying, oh, this is cool. This is coming out with the tag teams. And you never got that. So those ones to me, because I vividly remember, like I said, even different paint, Hillbilly Jim for the LJN used to be on the back of the card with like a black shirt as opposed to the red one that he came with.
Yeah.
So I remember as a kid looking at that, being like, how come I can't get this? So I thought the history of that, and because 7-year-old, 8-year-old, however old I was at the time, Sal, looking at that, thinking I want that. I think those are cool. I'm not going to spend, especially now, like in the height of my collecting, I thought about it for the Mean Gene, let's say, but I can't spend $5,000, 20 grand, 10, whatever it may be. I just get a custom of it. So I have a couple of customs of the prototypes, but no actual prototype.
The way you just explained it is the way that 7 or 8-year-old Shawnee would have seen Carmen Electra.
No, 14-year-old Sal saw Carmen Electra. I remember that.
Oh man, but I'm just kidding. But even you're right. Even the LJNs, they're so remarkable because even me, as not a big collector of them, I know all of them by heart. Like when I could see them in the whole lineup, and you can't do that with many lineups because there's too many figures now, too.
Right. Well, that's why I love the I don't want to say small library. They're like Hasbro does have a lot. Yes. And I think LJN's a little over 70. I forget the exact number, but
wow.
Yeah, it's just for me. I mean, that's what the collecting is about, right? Nostalgia. Even you heard a little bit of that on the podcast where they were talking about Joe Shoes, who bought the He-Man thing.
Yes.
And then this is how the pod works. And this is why I think it's so great. So I hear the He-Man thing. And now instead of like focusing on every word that they're saying, I start drifting away to He-Man and I liked He-Man. I have a lot of the original figures. And then I go to, I used to watch that a lot as a kid. And then I used to watch the Batman series as a kid. And then I used to watch cartoons Saturday. And then like my mind just starts going to all those things that I loved when I was a young kid. It's great. It's such a trip down memory lane. It makes you feel like a kid again.
It's very weird, that feeling. And it's a great feeling because it puts you back into this place of like innocence and like happiness and, vulnerability,
Sure.
It puts you back there. And like, there's really nothing else that I would consider besides like the smell of a baseball field or
certain smells, right? Certain smells, certain songs, whatever, certain shows.
Yes.
But they bring you back, and you're right. Like I remember waking up on a Saturday morning, no worries in the world. It's just you're watching cartoons or collecting, Happy Meal figures or whatever it may be, which I know we'll get into in a little bit. But all those different things
for sure. And the last thing I have about the Major Pod recap was it's really crazy. It's really mind blowing. But Randy Orton's tattoo artist has been suing the WWE because they put his tattoo in the game without her knowledge and consent. How do you feel about that, Sal?
Well, I was confused because how then did they get away with it on figures?
That's a great point. That's a great point.
So I was I don't play the video game. I heard them talking about it. I thought it was like odd. I mean, I guess I get it. If that's their art, you can't be using it in the video game. But then, don't we see figures with tattoos on them or no? Like I thought that
we do, and it's the only tattoos that I know that can't be put on a figure is CM Punk's Pepsi tattoo. So
because it's Pepsi,
because it's like a real company. But I've seen other tattoos.
Why does he have? That's an actual Pepsi tattoo.
That's a Pepsi.
Why does he like Pepsi?
I don't know what it is, but he's straight edge, so I'm guessing it's because he's straight edge, like Pepsi, like that's what he drinks. I don't know. I don't know the story, so
Shawnee, you could be way off on that.
I could, but that's just my guess. I don't know. But why else would he have a freaking Pepsi tattoo?
I don't know who would have a Pepsi tattoo. It makes no sense to me.
That's my best guess.
Yeah.
But that's what she apparently won like $3,500 from what I saw in an article.
Right.
And that could open up worms, man. Like worms. Like there's gonna have to be some kind of law around it that can stop people from going back.
Or they're just not going to be able to make new figures with tattoos or anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
Which is what they talked about when they discussed the starting lineup figures.
Yes. So that's actually where I heard it, right? So when they were talking about the starting lineup, and it's like I said, like LeBron doesn't have those any tattoos, but he's covered. So is the figure really something I want? It's just you just have to go through that, you know.
Right. And yeah, no,
It's a
it was
personal decision, you know.
It was a weird story, though. Not weird, but just like a eye-opening. Like, wow,
For
you could get
sure.
sued.
Yeah.
Now, look, 3,000 to the WWE is nothing. I'm
Nothing.
sure they pay that. You know,
But what about the legal fees, though? You know, so
well, right, and just the hassle and the bigger picture, maybe moving forward. To your point.
true. So yeah, I just thought that was very strange, and it could open up a bag of worms. And that I thought when you signed the disclosure of your tattoo, that it was kind of like, I'll do the tattoo. It's on your body, right? Like, you know, if anything happens, we're not liable. But then all of a sudden, you can't. You know, you're claiming your art on my body. I don't know how I feel.
How many tattoos you have?
I have about 9.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a whole half left sleeve.
Okay.
I have New York Mets on my shoulder blade.
Okay.
I have Vince Lombardi quote: "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." I have family right here, and I have my initials on my side.
Has Vince Lombardi ever working overnight on top of having a day show? Fatigue makes cowards. Hey, coach, come working overnight with me. I got 5 hours on the radio tonight. Don't tell me fatigue makes cowards.
So the reason why I got that tattoo was because my whole life I was always the chubby guy. I was always fat, bigger, you know, but I was an athletic big guy where I wouldn't like my coaches loved me. I was that type of player. I would never give up. I could be throwing up, like my leg could be broken and I'm still going. And I realized what that quote meant one time when I was so exhausted and I see everybody and I'm looking around and I'm the only one that is still going. And these skinnier kids and these more in shape kids than they're just defeated. And I'm thinking right now, they're a better player than me, but if I were to play them at this moment, I would win.
Right.
And that's how I got that tattoo.
Love it. I love that. That's a great story, Seany.
Yeah. So,
you got heart. You got that heart and determination.
For sure, man. You know, you can't give up in life. It's just when you give up, it's like they win. And I'm so competitive that I can't allow that, you know?
Right.
But yeah, so that's all I got for a Major Pod recap. You have anything else? Nope. Okay, so now.
Well, you know what? One thing that I did want to mention, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but I thought it was interesting. And I actually hung out with Brian this past Sunday, and he was talking about it a little bit, but then he mentioned it on the pod where he's renovating his house.
Yes.
And while that is a logistical nightmare, obviously having to move and, you know,
for sure,
not be able to, and you take down his whole collection, there is a part of that is fun because it's like not that you're recollecting all over again, but as I've said before, the adult version of playing is organizing. So that is fun where he now gets to start with a blank canvas eventually whenever he gets back into his house and gets to redo his toy room with all the toys and everything set up the way that he wants to display it. I think that's exciting.
I agree, Sal. I agree 100%. I think it's so much fun when you have to like put things back up and they fit perfectly and that kind of stuff. And I think you kind of remember what you have, even if it's on your wall, right? You know, you forget because you're coming in. It's like me knowing exactly what pins are up on that pin board behind me. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? But if I take them down, I look one by one and my attention goes to them. So
you have every one? You have every one of those pins or no?
Not every one, but I'm close. There's some of these pins are worth $200 for a pin.
The early ones or recent ones?
Yes, the early ones.
I wonder if I got any of those early ones.
Yeah,
I think I only have like the early ones, 4 or 5 of the early ones.
Yeah, I had before I knew you. I had bought the shot glass from you. That I bought the coasters, the Best Wishes coasters.
Right.
And then I think a couple of the pins. I think, but yeah. So, but like they were only live pins, like live 5 pins.
Oh, okay.
Not the early ones, but yeah. And there was a couple.
You have so wait, you need the early ones?
I have some of them, but I need some more. Yeah, but but the thing about the pins is, I believe there was one show there wasn't any pins, and then the second one where there wasn't any backer to the pin. So
Okay.
it's kind of interesting when because I dove deep on it a little bit when I was collecting them.
Yeah, I remember you needed pins, and I forget which ones I have. I got to look over it. And the back scratcher. Remember the original back scratcher?
Yes.
You
That's
ever
right.
find one of those?
No, I never got. I see. There's one on the for like $100, but like I can't. I don't know. I'll end up getting it, but it's not like a necessity for me.
Right. That was such a huge thing.
I heard. Yeah, I heard
in the beginning. Yeah.
Why did people
cool.
go so nuts for it? Because it was like the first piece of merch, or
yeah, it was an early piece. It was just I don't know. It was a representation of the early days of the pod. They were just starting the merch. They always just talk about scratch that itch, baby, scratch that figure itch, and then here comes a back scratcher. Like I remember, I asked Brian for it. I was like, "Yo, you got an extra one?" They were expensive then.
Yeah.
So I don't know
how much were they going. Do you know? Like
I would say I thought $100. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I would bet. But yeah, that's the major pod, guys. This week it was a good episode, and had some interesting topics. So the Patreon group posts, these are posts that me and Sal see, and we basically just talk about it and say our feelings. The first post I have is Steve Macho Matt, our Scottish Major Mark brother. He showed a picture that Figure Toys had posted of Dylan standing next to the British Bulldog, right? What did you think about that? The size and stuff for Sal?
Yeah, you sent me that one.
Yes.
So I saw it, and I was surprised how in scale I thought that it was.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't look like that initially with just the release of the Dylan figure, but I thought it was pretty decent scale. Now, I don't love those figures to begin with. I told you I only ordered one Chella. I don't have any in hand. I saw you do you did the atom bomb glow in the dark, which I thought was cool. I'm looking forward to getting my Haku in the next 5 years, whenever that is. But I don't love the look of the figures, but it did. I looked at it like, oh, okay, maybe that's not as bad as it initially looked as far as size goes.
You're really good at throwing shade, but then giving them like a nice polish. Like, here, let me spit on you, but I'll wipe it off.
Nothing personal, of course. But give me my damn figure. Where's my King Haku?
You've mastered that, Sal. You are the master of the spit and shine.
Spit and shine. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's I was never worried. I was never worried. Like, people get so crazy that these collectors sometimes they forget, like, guys, it's a hand-painted proto. Like, you don't even see the scale. It's just a picture of that one figure. So how are you you're just guessing and throwing bullshit out there? Wait until a picture comes out. The Figure Toys had to post this picture because too many people were talking bad about the size. So they posted it like, look, bitch, it's not going to be bad.
You know right. Like, shut the hell up.
Like,
here's
shut
our,
up.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, I love that. I love that they did that. Like, here, you're all wrong. You worried for no reason, So that just bothers me. But the second thing is Bert James posted about the NFL joining starting lineups through Fanatics. So I guess they license NFL. The license belongs to Fanatics. So Fanatics was able to do a deal with starting lineups through the NFL.
Right. Which I don't.
What I'm saying, Sal?
Yeah, but I don't understand how the whole thing works. So it's not the same as it was for the NBA ones?
So the NBA, I guess, is directly licensing their product to starting lineup. But
NFL
goes through Fanatics because they signed that huge deal, the licensing deal.
Oh, where Fanatics has all the licensing for any NFL merchandise. Okay, so then they have to go. Okay.
So now they have to go. Isn't that interesting, though?
Yeah, it is. The way that the business works. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Think about, I mean, I get it. That's why Fanatics put all that money out, right?
Well, I was going to say Fanatics I feel like Fanatics is buying everything now.
They're buying a lot, man.
Dude, everywhere I look, even if you go to these, like, the Mets website to buy a postseason shirt, Fanatics, like, it's all intertwined now.
And their ad space is crazy. Like, anytime I go on like a sports website, they're all over. They're all over.
Yeah.
And like buy a hat here, you know, because they know that they have my internet history, so they know I'm looking at hats, you know. And
who signed that hat that you're wearing now, by the way?
Stepmoms.
What's that? You're sick, Shawnee. Yeah. Who signed that hat that you got right there?
So this is Jackie Robinson hat.
Oh, is that what that says underneath?
So
I like that.
Thank you, Jackie.
Ah, that's sick. I like that.
And then it says Jackie Robinson 50th anniversary, and then his number on top.
That's cool, man. The history of Brooklyn. I love that.
Yeah, I love it. My dad's always been mad at he hates the Los Angeles Dodgers, Sal.
Right. For taking his team away?
Yes. Yeah. So, you know, and all of his family older than that hated, you know, loved the Dodgers, you know?
Right.
But then we became Mets fans, so I'm grateful.
Yeah. Halfway
grateful. Halfway grateful. We said it at the same time, right? Oh my gosh. We are on to the sports segment, our favorite segment. It's only the second week, but we had a hot first week. I would say we had a perfect first week of the sports segment. And we picked your questions that you put in my post, and we go over them. So, Sal, I'll read the first 6, and you can do the last 5, okay?
Okay.
So this is from Thomas T.K. Kelly. If you had Judge's 62 home run ball, what would you do with it?
Oh, it's a great question. Such a fun topic, right? I hate the idea that the guy who caught it is already rich, apparently. I hate that he's being kind of a jerk about it. Like, I think there's somewhere in between. The kid who gave up number 60 was foolish because he gave up something that had great value that he could have probably used the money for and just gave it over. This guy doesn't need the money and he's being a jerk about it. So me personally, what I would do with it, I would probably sell it. I'm not saying I'd put it up for auction to the highest bidder. I would give Judge and the Yankees an opportunity to buy it back, but I would want, you know, I'm not in a position where, and I don't know what that guy's finances are, but the reports were that he was really well off. Like, if you don't need the money, then maybe I do a little differently. But for me personally, I need that money, Shawnee. I want that. Give me a milli.
I want that money, and I want it now.
Yeah, right, exactly. Tie in ODB. Hey, I got your money, right? But I would probably sell it. I'd hope to come to an agreement with the Yankees. Like, I would sell it for less to the Yankees and Judge as opposed to, let's say, whatever it may be through an auction, but it'd have to be worth my while. You know?
I would. The first thing I would do is I would get it. I would get an appraiser to appraise it for me. That's the first thing I would do before I talk to anybody. Then get the value from the appraiser, offer it whatever that value is, if I'm okay with that, to the Yankees to buy it first, like you said. And then if they don't want to buy it, then it goes to the highest bidder. You know, that's all, you know. And
if the Yankees just say, nah, make your money on it, all right, then I'm going to hold out for you.
That's right. You know, I know you have it. So, you know, it's not like you can't hide your bank account from me and say, I don't got it, Buster. You know?
Right. Exactly. Right. Whatever my ask is, you have.
Exactly. I'm not, you know, and if I was well off, I would donate it to a charity. I would make them donate to St. Jude's or something, you know?
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, if you, now again, $1 million or $2 million, somebody was saying the thing was worth $2 million. That's $2 million or $2 million. But yeah, if you had it, you could do something.
If you're a freaking, if I have 50 million in the bank, right, I'm gonna donate that ball. You know.
Look, here's the thing too. Judge is gonna make, let's say, $400 million this offseason. The Yankees, as you said, are $1 billion. So like,
it's stupid,
right? So if they don't want to pay what somebody else is willing to pay, then why should I?
Why should I have to be? Why should I have to bow down to them when they're this hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever?
Right. You want it that bad? Hook me up. Yeah. Right.
$1 billion.
You know, it was Dr. Evil for Halloween a few years back.
Oh, that's great. I got to see that picture. I
did it on TV too. I was playing with Mr. Bigglesworth the whole time. How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard? Yeah.
I could be Fat Bastard.
Yeah. Oh, Shawnee, we got it. We got to get a little crew together. We can do the whole Austin Powers thing.
Oh, that's it. That's it. We're showing up at a Halloween party near you.
I still got the costume. You got to I got my Dr. Evil costume. You got to get that Fat Bastard costume. That'd be great. Dude, we got to do it for the Halloween episode. The Halloween.
Right. I'm going to look into ordering it. Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah.
So this, I agree. I love our answers to that. Number 2, Ryan Roberts says Pujols or Miguel Cabrera.
Boy, that's a tough one. I'd probably go. Now, I mean, you could answer it in different ways. Who do you think's the better hitter? Who do you think is somebody you'd rather have on your team? Tough question.
I'd go Miggy.
I'd probably go Pujols.
Got it.
Because I remember Pujols doing it on a bigger stage more often. And
yeah. You're probably right.
I mean, who's the better player? Remember, Miggy had an issue a little bit with alcohol. I know he's battling that. He's one of the best right-handed hitters, obviously, that ever lived, certainly that I've ever seen. And I don't even like Pujols. Like, if you ask me who I like better, Miguel Cabrera. But I think if I had to pick one who I think is a better player, I'd probably go Pujols.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of parallels to that, because if you tell me that Miguel Cabrera is healthy and sober his whole career, right, I'm taking Miggy, no doubt. But you're right. Like, now that I rethink about the question, like growing up, Pujols was the machine, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was an animal, and not only was he an animal, but he's this freak of nature size too. So
yeah, we have to assume that they're clean, and all that. But that's a great
it's a great question. It really
can't go
is.
wrong.
Yeah,
I probably would go Pujols.
Yeah, I agree. I go Mickey,
Albert Pujols hit one of the more what the hell year was it? Had to be 2005, I want to say. He hit one of the more impressive home runs that sticks in my mind in baseball history off of Brad Lidge with, I believe, 2 on, 2 out, if I'm not mistaken, to tie a game in the 9th. Now, the Astros ended up winning that series, but it was just, I'll never forget that home run. Just an absolute bomb in a huge spot. Yeah. And maybe because of that, I lean Pujols because of the postseason success.
Of course. Yeah, I get that. I get it.
Here's who I got in the World Series. Not the Guardians. Not the Cleveland baseball team. I think it is going to be the Yankees.
They're that low in your mind, Sal, that you don't even have it. You don't even tell them by their name.
I think it's going to be the Yankees in the American League, and I'm rooting for the Mets in the National League, so I'll pick them, but no bold predictions. I'm going to go Subway Series.
Yeah, I'll pick the Mets. I'll pick the Mets and what other AL teams are in it, Sal?
Blue Jays, Astros, Rays. You get Cleveland and Tampa. You got Seattle and Toronto. And then you got the Yankees and the Astros.
I like Seattle, actually. I'll go Seattle.
All right, there you go. Seattle and the Mets.
They have some young studs up there.
All right.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Number 4, Landon Bumgarner. Does Judge stay with the Yankees or get that Mets money?
I think Judge is staying with the Yankees, but I do think he's going to have to take less to do so. So it's a matter of whether it's the Mets or somebody else if they're going to offer him more money. How do you feel about Judge, Shawnee?
Yeah, I love Judge. I haven't heard anything bad about him outside. He kind of reminds me of like a Derek Jeter-ish figure, like the new Derek Jeter, And I know because Mets fans, they hate the Yankees, and I do too. But I never hated Derek Jeter. I never hated Bernie Williams, Those guys, they never got hate from me because they were such class acts that I couldn't hate them. Like Mariano Rivera. How do you hate these guys? They're just so talented. It's right. It's unreal. And you never heard a bad thing about them outside, And that's, to me, more impressive when you're a superstar because you have this vision in on you. Anything you do wrong, it's multiplied,
Right.
So it's so impressive to me that these guys are awesome. But Judge, I love. I think that the Mets are gonna get into a bidding war because I think that Uncle Steve is gonna pay whatever he needs to, and I think that the Yankees will end up getting Judge back, but I don't think it's without a fight from other teams.
Yeah, well, he's going to be in high demand, clearly. So we'll see. I can't wait. That'll be one of the fascinating offseason stories.
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to be 400 million plus.
Yeah.
It has to be. PD Joe Furlow. How did the Mets manage to Atlanta up their first place status and fall to behind the Braves?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's taking a shot here at the Mets. What does that mean, Atlanta up?
So I don't know what that means. I guess it's like a Braves thing, but I just say the Mets beat themselves. The last couple of games, obviously, you guys got the best of us, but the Mets beat themselves, and the Braves are a great team. Anybody who says different is wrong. Look at their winning percentage from June on, right? For after June, it's ridiculous. So we were doing great, but they were doing even better. So
I think in this particular case, it was about the Mets not taking advantage of worse opponents in September. They played average baseball at best. That's how they could
let up.
Yes. Well, they kept Atlanta in it. They should have buried Atlanta before that series. And then, of course, the Braves were right there, and the Mets just got beat. I mean, Scherzer, DeGrom didn't have it, and that was it, and you give Atlanta credit. But this was not the Mets collapsing. This was just the Mets not being able to play their best against the bad teams. And unfortunately,
going into the playoffs.
And not being ready for the big series in Atlanta, which was essentially a playoff series.
But I do have to say, like football, like I used to love having the bye week, and then after the Packers get kicked out in the second round every time after having that bye, I realized like you see all these wild card teams that win it every other year. They're winning it because they don't stop playing. They're constantly at 100. They don't give up.
There's definitely something to that, and we're learning now with baseball, with the first time that there are buys. We're going to find out. Maybe that does hurt somebody to have the buy and a little bit of a layoff.
I agree. I think it hurts a lot of people, especially when you don't have a lot of guys that have been there before. It hurts you, not skipping games and stuff.
Are you want me to take over here, or what are you doing?
Yeah, go ahead. You take over.
This is number 6, right? Petey DiCarlo, best jersey of all time, any sport. He's going with the 80s Dolphins. What do you think?
Oh man, that's a great question. I saw this question and I've been
There's so many to pick from.
There is so many. But I have to say, if it's not like an all-star game jersey, it's just a regular team's jersey, I would have to say with the Vince Carter Raptor days with the Raptor on it.
Sick jersey.
I'm
trying to think. Best team, man, any sport. There are so many that I love, especially in the oldie. You know what I'm going to go with? Seattle Supersonics.
Ooh, I like that.
I loved the green Sonics uniform. Now, there really wasn't much to it, but just the green and the yellow.
They were
lettering
red too,
or
right?
White.
Weren't they red?
Later, yes, when they played Jordan and the Bulls. But I'm going back to the 80s Supersonics.
Got it.
Where I love the old school green jersey, the green and yellow and the white with Kemp and Gary Payton. I think that's cool. I mean, there are so many. The Chargers have a great uniform, that powder blue.
Yep. What about the Cincinnati Bengals? They have a great jersey.
I like my old school Atlanta Falcons too. The Deion Sanders days, just the black and white jerseys. After they went from the red a little bit with the old logo Falcon helmet.
Do you know what the most disgusting uniform is? The Packers 1912 uniform.
Hate them, yeah.
With the blue and the yellow football with the number in it. I'm like, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the ones that look like they're inmates, like those are garbage, but there's a lot of good ones out there. Like
the Jets too. I hate the Jets throwback like that. Those same things, those old times. The New York Titans when they would play.
Yes.
All right, let's see where we're at here. Number 7, Joey Hudson and Nick Bucci. Aaron Judge is the same size as Braun Strowman. Should Judge join WWE? Who are the pro athletes you most want to see wrestle?
Absolutely not. Judge, that would be like, you're not making $40 million a year in the WWE. I'm sorry. You could like Vince is not even making like I don't know. He probably is making $40 million a year, but like Triple H is not making $40 million a year. He's probably making $5 million. So it just shows you how much you can make more as a baseball player than a wrestler, and you're not putting your body at such, forcing things, right? So you could have a longer career.
Any that you'd want to see, any athlete you'd want to see currently wrestle? I got George Kittle would be one for me, who's the Niners tight end and a big wrestling fan, and maybe Josh Reddick would be the other one.
See the tight end Travis Kelce. I would like to see him
Kelce.
wrestle. Yeah. Yep. Oh, you're shocked by that good pick, huh?
Yeah. George Kittle for the Niners. That dude's an animal.
He's
on
an
the field.
animal.
He's a big wrestling fan, so I think he would be fun.
What about the running back from the Seattle Seahawks? What's his name, Sal?
The current one?
The current one, the huge dude.
I'm not sure, honestly, Shawnee.
I can't think of his name at the moment, but he's absolutely ginormous.
I forget. I would know it. Yeah, I would know it if I saw his name. I don't know. Chris Carson's coming to my mind, but I don't think it's him. I forget who the dude is.
Yeah,
I didn't take him in.
Cover me, Sal, and I'll get it.
Oh no, it's all right. I mean, I just think the reason why I would say Kittle is because I know he's a beast and because I know he likes wrestling. Josh Reddick, same thing.
No, that's Derrick Henry. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Oh, you're not thinking of Henry with the Titans?
No. Seahawks running back. He's a wide receiver. Sorry, he's a wide receiver.
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. Thank you. Yes,
he's a beast.
He's a beast.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, imagine him running at you full speed. Wow.
Nah, he'd kick some rear end in the ring for sure.
All right, next.
Chris D. Giovanni. Now that the first month of the NFL season is over, what are your Super Bowl predictions? You have some Super Bowl predictions for us, Shawnee?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to be biased, to be honest, because I'm a Packers fan. I want the Packers to win. I think that they have the ability to win. They've shown highlights, but winning by 2 or 1 at whatever, 2 points, 3 points to a third string quarterback with the Patriots this weekend is kind of frightening. They have a young wide receiving core besides Cobb, and losing Devontae was a big thing, but I would have to say I would go with a Packers Bills Super Bowl.
All right. I am going to go. Well, I mean, I went Colts preseason. I'll stick with it. I know that's not looking likely after the first month, although the question did specify and say after the first month, who would be your Super Bowl predictions? So that does change things because as much as my heart says Matt Ryan, after watching the Colts struggle and they're playing Thursday Night Football, ironically, in a little bit here. Matter of fact, they might be playing right now as we record this. I'd probably say I'm going to pick the Ravens and hope that Lamar Jackson could stay healthy. And I'm not going to go the Bills, which I think is the favorite. I'll go the Chiefs. I'm not going back there. I'll go Ravens in the AFC, and in the NFC, I'll go 49ers.
Okay.
A rematch of the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a good pick. For sure.
All right, number 9, Joe Matt. Has anyone in the sports media industry given Sal shit about his figure collecting? Are there any closet collectors? No, nobody's. Take that back. Carton made fun of me a little bit for all the bobbleheads that were displayed when I used to do the SNY shows from home, and you could see on Zoom the background. He doesn't even know the half of it, all the figure collecting. So maybe Craig Carton will be the one guy who might try to make fun of me, but I couldn't care less what he or anybody else says. And other people have seen pictures and commented and said, like, oh my God, is that your collection? Wow. So not that those people are closet collectors, but they understand it when they see it and appreciate how cool it is. Matter of fact, Evan, Carton's partner, Evan, loves the collection and has only seen half of it. But I have not shown my wrestling collection to pretty much anybody in sports media.
Yep. Understood.
10, Justin Walsh. You can finish up the last one, Sean. Yes. I'll do this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Justin Walsh. Is there anyone more punchable than Pete Alonso?
I had to put it up here. Justin is the official major mark, right? So I had to put this up, and I think it's hysterical. I don't think Pete, to me, Pete doesn't have a punchable face. I don't see Pete like that, but I could see if you're another fan that you feel that way. To me, it's always like Bryce Harper is one of those guys. Um,
And Pete's a nice guy. He may be a little like aloof and doofy, but he's
he's
not a
doofy.
dick.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doofy. Yeah, for
He's not
sure.
a jerk. So I
He's not a
wouldn't
jerk. Yeah. I've never seen him be a jerk. That's why I don't think of him as punchable. Like I remember I used to look at Maddox's face and I used to just like I don't know, even though like he just looked like a jerk, like he had like resting
right.
bitch face, you know?
Right.
He would be on the mound like with like a resting bitch face, and it
Right.
made me just want to like smack him.
Yeah.
Tomahawk chop.
I don't think you could do that anymore either, Shawnee.
No, yeah,
All
you're
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's this world fucking come to, man?
All right, Shawnee, you got the last one?
Yes, I got the last one. Johnny JB, a good brother. Do you feel that Tom Brady should have stayed retired?
From a football fan's perspective, no. From a husband's perspective, yes. Clearly, it's
Agreed.
the driving force in him getting divorced from Giselle, or at least reportedly divorced. I get it. He loves the game. He loves football more than anything in life. And you're only going to be, you could be married forever after this. You
Yep.
cannot play football anymore. Like if you're going to
100%.
play, this is it. So the sports fan in me agrees with what he did. But the husband, if you promise your wife you're staying home, you're going to get in big trouble if not.
Bro, I had no idea until I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see this meme about Giselle divorcing him. And
Yeah.
I looked at my wife. I said, "Is this true?" And I was so mad at her because she tells me everything else that TMZ posts, but like the good information that I want, she's not telling me.
Right.
Like I had no idea that he was
Right.
getting divorced to her. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wow, like it doesn't matter how pretty you are. It does like none of that matters. It matters about you being a good person. And it's weird to me that you would like because it's not only her, it's his kids. Like she wants him to spend time with the kids, and I guess he's not ready for that yet, you know, like to be home full time.
Right.
And you know, that puts a lot of pressure on relationships when you can live together 24/7, you know. Um, if you could do it, then you can make it through everything, you know. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. So great questions, guys. Really, really great questions. Funny ones. We got some good answers in there. This week in collecting, Twick, baby. Twick, Twick, Twick. Bring me up a piece of that Twick cat bar. This week in collecting, we talk about what's going on and what things that we saw. And the first thing I'm going to start with is the McDonald's adult Happy Meal toys. How awesome is this, Sal?
It's one of those things. I loved it as a kid. Now I'm not going to get it now, but I think it's cool, nostalgic purposes. And
Yep.
I mean, I look forward to when my daughter gets a little bit older and we could go to McDonald's together and get her a Happy Meal and whatever toy that she loves. Like I love that stuff. I don't know if it's necessary to have that for adults. Like there's a lot that's geared toward adult collecting. Happy Meal toys doesn't necessarily do it for me. Now I have old Happy Meal toys, Muppet Babies and Bernstein Bears, crap like
Yep.
that I remember
Yep.
as a kid
Yep.
being my favorite from the Happy Meals. I think it's cool. If to each his own, people love it. Me personally, I don't know if I see a big enough. Like I'm not into it, and I can't imagine that it's going to be a huge thing for adult collectors. Will you be getting them?
I won't be getting them, but I respect them so much, so I might get them and maybe do like a giveaway of them or something. But
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't keep them in my collection. I have no use for them. But I have to say, I'm just so happy because, I mean, we lived, you know, 15 years ago where 40-year-old virgin was showing a toy collector as a loser.
Right.
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 And now they're having adult toy giveaways and Happy Meals. Right.
Right.
So it just shows you how much the world has grown and how we've become more accepting of it because so many of us grew up with those as a child. Right.
Right.
So that
you have a favorite that you remember when you were a kid that you
I have
collected?
two, but they're not really Happy Meals. They're ones that you bought them with the meal. The Batman ice cups. I love
Right.
those. You remember those, right? Like with the scrape, like it was like clear and it like had the faces scraped into it.
No, I don't
You
recall it. I
don't
mean, I'm
remember
sure I've
that?
probably seen it. No.
Yeah, you definitely saw it. And number two is the Mike Piazza and Ken Griffey bobbleheads that they sold.
Oh,
You
I
remember
don't remember
those?
that either.
No,
No.
you don't remember those? They were
I would
black and
love
white.
I would love those.
I'll
What
send you.
years was
I'll
that? This was
send
when
you
they
a
were current.
picture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
This
it
one.
was when they were in the All Star game that year.
Oh,
So
cool.
it must have been late '90s, early 2000s. I would guess early 2000s.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture of them after we're
Okay,
done.
cool.
But yeah, those would be my two favorite. And remember the Beanie Babies? Remember when Beanie Babies were so big?
Yeah.
And they even had Beanie Babies at McDonald's. You know,
That's
like
right, they did. Yeah, I never got into I remember it obviously, but I was at that point I was like my prime non-collecting years. I was just getting into, girls and other stuff at school.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So pro wrestling tees. I was on Whatnot, and Colt Cabana and this guy Ryan, I think, own the pro wrestling tees, and they've been doing Whatnots every week. And I've noticed that every stream they have a one of one rare micro brawler. Okay, I last week they did like a 2-up version of the Swaggle micro brawler. It was a prototype, but it was 2 size larger than the regular ones, right? It sold for $1,100 last week.
Oh
And
my God.
this week was a gold Ric Flair one, and it sold for $865. So the problem I see here is I know that they don't force people to bid. I get that. People want to pay what they want to pay. I get it. So I don't criticize them for that, but I criticize them because they're basically printing money and diluting the product that's being sold by making these one of ones.
Right.
That's how I look at it. How do you see it, Sal? What do you
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
about that?
yeah, I mean, that's collecting though, right? I mean, I see what you're saying. It's not I don't know, dude. I can't get into that because then people go nuts, and then you have completists and people who love Ric Flair or whoever, and they want this and that. But the one of one, like, I don't know. I'm trying to change my mentality with it, and I
It's
can't
okay
blame.
though for you to feel how you feel, Sal. You know
Right,
what I
but I
mean?
can't. Well, I'm saying like I try to change my mentality is to say like I don't need this or that, and I think that a lot of collecting is mental, because
Yes,
even with
yes,
something for LJNs, which I love, I never heard of a no stars Macho Man before, but
yeah.
because it was a variant and I needed to have every single one, I needed to get it, and then like I realized one day like nobody ever knows the difference of this outside of Broski coming to my house or Brian, whatever,
Yep,
seeing it. Like, what am I doing this for?
yep,
It's. I didn't have it as a kid. It doesn't mean anything. But
yep,
there are people because of the mentalities. I need to have everything
yep.
that then they want that figure. So I mean, I think it kind of plays into that. I don't know the numbers game and making this or that or the one of ones. They do with the baseball cards too. Like it's a money grab. I don't. I try not to get caught up in it.
I just feel like it's abusing the product because you know it can make you $800,000 in one night,
Right.
and now it's tested that people will bet, will pay this much for it. So now you're going to be making extra certain ones, and I get it. As a business, you want to make the most money. I get
Right.
that part of it, but I just feel like for the people who bought it and hopefully got the regular chase, they didn't expect another chase, so now they're not complete. So now you take all these loyal people that buy your
But that's what
figures.
I'm saying. Like that's what I mean. The mentality of it. You're right. They're screwing the collector. You
Yeah.
think that they're doing you a favor, but they're not. Now they could only
Yep.
do that if you let them. So I will
True.
not. I mean, I
True.
will not do it. You're right. I
Very
also have
true.
a problem with not as big a problem because I think it's different, but like all the Mattel re-releases that are coming out. So like a year ago, if I was all about collecting the Legends figures, and I went
Yep.
back and I did a lot of them, and I went back and collected Legends series, and now they're remaking some of them. I'm like, well, what the hell is that? I paid hundreds of dollars for this, and now they're remaking one. The Brett ringside figure, which was like a $300 figure, and now maybe that's
Yes.
getting remade, like all that stuff. So it's part of it, but lesson learned. And you could
Yeah.
only you could A, afford what you could afford, B, want what you want, but you can't go nuts or get mad at them when all they're doing is they're taking advantage of your
Yes. Of the market. of the
of your
market.
happen, right?
Yeah.
Or of your,
So
your
I get it.
hobbit.
I'm not mad at them. Like I just don't like that. I don't like that's a play that like I'm not gonna stop buying from them. Obviously, I really like Colt, but I just don't like that. Like I feel like it takes advantage of the collectors. That's all, you know.
Yeah.
So the next thing is the Noho Bar Set and the Macho. Tell us about it. You
I
just
didn't get. Well, maybe we'll do the Macho next week. I don't have it in hand.
okay.
Actually, I do have it in hand. It's at home.
Okay.
But I didn't have a chance to open it. I did open the No Holds Barred. I finally got it. 2 sets. One I'm gonna keep.
How'd you
Mint in
feel?
box.
How'd you
Oh
feel
my
about
god,
it? So
dude. Heaven. I love it. It's probably the coolest new figure that
yeah.
I could have, or new figures.
How'd you
The,
like
the
the
whole
VHS setup?
that's what I mean. Like, I love it. I don't know which way to display it because I love the original box. I
Yeah.
love the VHS thing. I love the loose figures. Now, how have you had yours so long? Didn't they just get shipped here?
No, I just got mine.
Oh, okay.
I
You've had
just
it.
got mine last week.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just didn't. We didn't have time to talk about it, but I got mine last week. I got 2 of them as well.
You remember the movie as a kid?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
And you hate Hogan.
And I hate Hogan. The old this is just being a collector, bro. It's just shit that happens. Like I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I gotta have it. Like, and I broke my rule. That was one of my rule breaks,
Yeah.
you know? How about this? I love Hogan. I love Hogan so much, right? Brian does a 3. He does these things every week. It's a mystery box of cards that got graded. So you pick if you're the highest bidder or whatnot,
Yeah.
you get to pick 3 of them, right? So I picked the numbers 5, 11, and 23. I got the atomic leg drop,
Nice.
which is
Nice.
that's a 7. I got Tony Schiavone, which is an 8.
Okay.
That's an 8. And I got Hulk Hogan, that's a 9.
And Flair, right? Is that Hogan and Flair?
That's Flair. In
Oh,
both,
WCW Hogan, yeah.
both of them Flairs in it.
Oh, I didn't notice that before.
So
That's sick.
I pulled a 7 and a 9 Hulk, and then a 8 Schiavone, which I thought it was pretty cool.
Are you big into the cards?
I it's weird. Like I get itchy for them, and I have a bunch, and I do well with the cards. But I do it to support Papa Bear too. You know.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Because I really like Papa Bear. I love Johnny and I love Danny. They're good guys. So I do it to support them as well. But I really do get itchy for it, you know?
Yeah, I know. I don't even want to go down that road because I'd be the same way.
It's tough. It's tough.
Last one for me, Shawnee, and then we
Yes.
could wrap this up. I know we got long here.
Yep.
Zombie. So did you see the Sabu variant?
Yes, I saw one, Sal.
Are you in on that?
I saw a pink one.
Yeah, right. The
No.
pink one is the You're out?
I'm out. I love Sabu, but I just can't. I don't need 5 Sabus. You know
Do you
what I
have
mean?
do you have the original?
I have the original. Yeah, I bought 2 sets of the first series.
And you
So
have them still?
I have them still mint on card. Yeah. Yeah.
Why 2 sets? You gonna open them up or no?
I'm gonna open one set up once I have my garage set.
Okay.
Everything I have now is mint on card besides behind me.
Right.
Because when I go to open them, I'm gonna open them after my garage is set up, so I know where I can put things,
Okay.
you know?
So here's my issue, and I'm not going to get the Sabu. Matter of fact, I love the figure. I think it's sick. It's
Yeah.
the only one I didn't get from Series 1 just because it doesn't fit. Where the hell am I going to put it? I'm not being a completist.
No,
It
I
doesn't
get
fit
it.
anywhere with
Yeah.
doesn't fit the Hasbros. So I love the figure. I think it's great, but I have no use for it.
Yep.
So my issue is, where the hell are the pre-orders for Series 2? He said end of September. It is now October. Like, what's up with Series 2?
I didn't hear anything. The latest I've heard on any zombie product is today Danhausen posted a picture that Zombie had sent him of all the capes of his figure that have been stitched that are done. So apparently they're going to be ready to ship soon. But I agree. I mean, I don't know where the pre-orders are. I don't know why people can't, like, if you can't give a time frame, don't give it. You know what I mean?
You're exactly right. I'd rather just say, like, he's been releasing Series 2 for what? How long have the pictures and drawings
forever.
It feels like it's been being teased for years. And I'm not knocking Zombie. I don't know how the product or the business works. I love the product. I think it's great. I want it. I want it soon.
Yeah,
I didn't mind waiting
excellent.
a year for Series 1, but like you can't tease and not pay it off. As far as like, I just want to be able to pre-order that thing soon. And he said they're going to be coming out soon thereafter. So I guess, look, you're never going to be happy until you get the figures in hand, but I'm waiting anxiously to be able to pre-order the Series 2.
But remember, the product isn't the only thing that helps a business run successfully, right? So you can have a banging product, and if other things aren't there that people don't like, they're not going to buy from you, no matter how good your product looks. So you just have to be careful with things that you say. Like you could say maybe like, hey, maybe if you know it's coming in October, and you think it's coming in October, say, hey, maybe it's going to be maybe at the end of the year, beginning of the next year. Give yourself some time at least.
Or just say 2022. I mean, be vague.
Be vague about it.
That, but at least I wouldn't be on here talking about, hey, it's end of September.
Yes.
And there's no pre-orders yet.
And you're only thinking about this, Sal, because you know he's late on other things too. So you have it in your head like he hasn't been on time with anything.
Well, think about it. I'll tell you with Chella. So I'm not into Chella, but I wanted the King Haku. So I go out of my way now to order this King Haku, the one figure that I've ever bought from there. And now this. Now it's months later. I haven't heard a peep about it. I will not order from there again. Like, why would I do that?
No, I agree. It's not just
even with some of the figures that I want
too. You know, it is. It is.
That's how you lose a business.
It's exactly right. Exactly right. And it's crazy because Chella, if you look at their lines, they've progressively gotten better with the figures. So it's sad to see them get better on the figures, but then they're losing the customers day to day to that lack of customer service.
Matter of fact, I might have to email them and call and be like, dude, just refund me. You're not gonna be able to deliver on this King Haku. I just put my $40 back or whatever it is.
Yeah, bro, Haku, he's the real deal, bro. He will fuck people up, man. I've listened to so many shoots, and I've never heard more people say they're afraid of someone in my life. Everybody says they're afraid of Haku.
I don't know why I used to love him. That was always one of my favorites.
He's awesome. I love him. And I love that he's the nicest guy. Even though so many people are scared of him, they love him because he's a good guy. You know, he doesn't use that fear to monger over people, you know, like most people would, right? You know? Like, so I respect him so much for being a good guy. But yeah, that's it. I mean, anything else, Sal?
No, I think we're good for today. Yeah, clapper.
The golf clap.
I think we're good. Maybe next week we'll get more into that macho because we both, we'll both have it or whatever.
We're going over now, but we're out of time and we're out of here.